Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the deck profile of the Wing Zero deck with Wing Gundam, of course, but we'll get to that a little bit later. We're going to start with the low level cards and then we'll make our way up as the units and then pilots and ending with bases. So first, I run one Demi Trainer. I think this card was really important. I don't think it's much that important anymore. He's either just a drop to block because generally speaking, the strategy for this deck is to just stall your opponent long enough that you'll get your Wing Gundam and Wing Zero out there to deal with their wide boards and to breach into them and beat them that way. So just one is fine for me. You could even probably cut it, to be honest. I do also run a Zaku 2 as a low level, just because I really like to put something down early. So this could be in either turn 1 or 2, the Demi Trainer or the Zaku 2, just to apply a little bit of pressure or just to have like an additional blocking situation out there for whatever reason. But in reality, you don't really need a whole lot of low levels. I've seen a lot of decks just run level 2 and 3 and up. So you could cut them. I also run a Duels Leo just to deal with small units that may or may not give you trouble. Since this unit can attack level 2 or lower and as an attack target, if you were to, for example, pair it up with a pilot, you can start pinging away at small things that may be annoying you or doing some damage against you, for example. Something like a rush deck would have some trouble going up against Duels Leo, for example. But now we come to the cards that are usually in most builds. We do kind of want to run 4 of the Lefrith Gundam. It is a blocker. It is a 2/4 for level 3 drop 2. So it's not super cheap at the beginning, but it is worth it. The 4 HP is really hard for your opponent to get through. They really need to get boosted or get a pilot going in order to get through it in one hit. But most of the time, this Lefrith's going to stop your opponent from getting at you if you drop it early. Another level 2 that we play 4 of, but it's a level 2 drop for 2. Sorry, this is level 3, not level 2. But our level 2 that we drop for 2 is this 3/2 Zawart, which is a blocker. If you're not familiar with it, you remember that you cannot attack your opponent shield or base with it. This here is meant to be really just to block and trade with your opponent, right? So this Zawart is a relatively strong blocker, low level strong blocker that can won't survive a whole lot. Its 2 HP is not great, but the 3 damage is pretty nice to destroy a lot of smaller units that may want to go into it. And if you are trying to protect yourself, you definitely want to use this very defensively to trade, not offensively, because again, it can't hit your opponent's shields. But I do run a pilot that may play a little bit more offensively with these. We'll talk about it when we get there. We're running 4 of the Wing Bird mode. For the ramp up, you do get to place an EX resource, which counts as a level and a resource that you can use. It is a level 3 cost for 3. I used to think that this card was not a 4 of, but you are absolutely and 100% trying to get to the higher levels, especially now. So after the start, in the starter deck meta with the beta, you probably could get away with fewer of these because really you're just trying to get to the Wing Gundam. But now you want to get to the Wing Zero, and the bird mode is one of the better ways to get there. So you definitely want to play it. You definitely want to get that EX to help you level up and act as a resource for yourself to get your units down, right? So we are running 4 of the bird mode in this deck. You just need to. I run 1 Perfect Strike, level 5/3. I think the level's just really high. It doesn't provide a blocker immediately. You definitely want to ramp up by those points. You definitely want to have the Wing Bird trying to get up higher. It is a blocker though, and it can bounce at 1 HP. So if you want to get rid of a token or something like that, it is solid. For 4/4, it's perfectly fine. Some people run more. I'm just running 1. That's okay. I'm also running Shenlong. Again, these one-offs are just kind of like the spice, trying to get rid of things and doing things, but they're not necessarily exactly what you need. Shenlong gets rid of blocker and it has breach. If your opponent's running something heavy blockers, which a lot of decks are nowadays, right? Something like this. You want to be able to pop blockers when you attack and also breach, doing massive damage to your opponent, making them potentially lose 2 units, and the base with Shenlong is pretty nice, right? Something like this would be perfectly fine to run, but only run 1 because really what you want to have is 4 of the Gundam Death Sights. This is an expensive card, as you may or may not know, but it does so much for this deck. It is a level 6, cost 4. The Death Sight, when paired with Operation Meteor, will give you a rested resource, like a regular resource, not an EX, so it does help with the ramp up, and you also get first strike during the turn. So if you pair up with a dual Maxwell, you can immediately first strike your opponent, get a resource out, help you go up to level 7 or whatever it is that you need to get to. It is pretty powerful. 5/4 with dual Maxwell will be a lot more than that. It'll be 6/6. First strike means that you don't take damage back if you hit your opponent with it, right? As long as you're attacking with it. Pretty strong ramp, simultaneously ramping up and taking no damage with the first strike is really powerful. Do not underestimate this card. It is definitely a 4-of and a powerful one. We also run 4 of the Wing Gundam. If you're familiar with this card, you know that it is just very powerful. You are trying to get to it with Hero and Breach 5. And remember that you can attack units that are level 4 or lower. If they're standing, you can still do that. It is level 6, so you are trying to ramp up with the Wing Bird. To get up to it, of course, you want to drop it, get Hero under there, and attack right away with Breach. And if there's units, you get to attack them. Pretty powerful, of course, when you match it up with Hero, it just gets up there really powerfully. Next, I'm running 3 Wing Zeros. I see you can make the case for 4, but 3 has been pretty okay. Especially because we have so many search cards that we'll talk about later. Wing Zero has high maneuver, cannot be blocked. And it can, on deployment, deal 3 damage to all units that are level 5 or lower. It itself is level 8, so it wouldn't be affected by this. Remember that this affects every single unit that is level 5 or lower. The Wing Gundam and the Death Side are both level 6s. They are not affected by this, but everything else that's lower would be taking damage from this. But this is particularly very strong against your opponent if they have just a lot of small units, if they are trying to go board wide. Wing Zero will destroy and basically do a lot of damage to all of those guys. So you definitely want to hang on to it. You also get to link with Hiro with it. So let's talk about him. Hiro, of course, we run 4. He's just too good. You want to try to avoid pairing up with the Wing Bird, but because you want to save it for the Wing Gundam, sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you just really need to get the bird with it. You can't do anything about it. But of course, Wing Zero and Wing Gundam both need it. When you're doing your searches, you definitely want to make sure that you keep 1 or 2 in your hand in order for you to use your wings right away with the link, right? And start chipping away at your opponent. You'll notice that during link, it gets +1 and AP and HP. So this is actually +3, +2 when it's a link, which is all 3 of these units right over here. Making them +3, +2 is a very powerful buff, and why it's one of the strongest pilots in the game. 4 dual Maxwells. These are, of course, the Gundam Death Side pilot. Level 4 cost 1, +1, +2. So this makes it stronger HP, but not stronger attack, not that much. You also, during link, can't be reduced by your AP, so your opponent's white cards that reduce AP will not affect this pilot. You do get to link with the Death Side right away and attack for pretty powerful attacks if you need to, so if you have it in your hand. Not to mention the Duels Leo, which is just a one-off, but it does happen where you can get this out for 3 as a 3/4 and take out something small and survive. That's okay, not a super important play, but you definitely want to make sure that you pair it up with your Death Side, first strike your opponent, get your ramp up, and get to a place where you can start playing the Wing Zero with Hiro. I am also running 2 Kiras. This is not a typical pilot to run, but I really like Kira here to make our Zord very powerful trade bait. So making it a 5/3 is really strong, and reducing your opponent's AP by 2 can keep the Zord alive and tagging your opponent's units if they get rested much faster. You can also get a Lefrit that's 4/5, really powerful. I just really like the buff that Kira provides. And the fact that it reduces your opponent's AP means you can be more aggressive with the blockers if you need to switch up your defense into more offensive, a more offensive switch halfway through the game. And it's fine. It works perfectly well. I really like it. I am running 2 first contacts. You can make the case for 3. 2 has been enough for me. You'll know that as a burst, it places 1 EX resource on the board, and this is not rested. But if you use it as a main, you do place a rested regular resource, not an EX. So this helps with the ramp up, just like Wing Bird does. So if you're not seeing your Wing Bird, then you go to the first contact. Ideally, your Wing Bird is your ideal play. First contact is there just to provide an additional way to ramp up. And some people just run 3 because you really, really want to get that ramp up, right? But here comes some more white support. You are running 4 Overflowing Affection, which is a draw 2, discard 1. You're looking for your pieces. This is not an expensive command. Level 2 costs 1. You see if you have a hero. If you have a wing Gundam, you keep that and you move on. If you are deciding between a hero and a wing, there are more wings, so you definitely want to keep the hero and hope your chances at drawing the zero or wing come up a little bit later, right? But this is just such good support to pick up cards and pick the ones that you want, keep them in your hand. Really nice white support for this deck. We also run 2 Path to Victory or Defeat. Again, this one I can see people running more of, maybe 3 or 4. It is level 5, so if you get it early in the game, it'll be stuck in your hand until you can use it later. But it does look at the top 5, which is a big number in this game. And you can pick up a Operation Meteor or G Team, which is either the Wing, the Hero, Dual Maxwell Death Side, Wing Zero. All of those fit here. You can pick those up with this card. And then put the rest away at the bottom of your deck. So if you're looking for pieces, if you didn't get them with the Overflowing Affection, this card in the later game, costing only 1, is going to get you your pieces that you need more often than not and get you on the path to victory or defeat, possibly, right? Solid card. Last but not least, we have our base. This is the Underground Desert base, which is just a 6 HP base. You're picking up a card from your shields and putting it in your hand. Again, this falls into the strategy of just stalling your opponent. You have the blockers, you have all these cards keeping your opponent from destroying you earlier. A strong base will do the same thing. It will keep your opponent. They need to get up to 6 attack power to destroy your base in 1. There's not a whole lot in the early game that can do that. So by the time they start getting units that can destroy this base in 1, you hopefully have your Wing Zero, your Wing Gundam, your Death Sight already going at your opponent pretty powerfully, right? So the high HP is meant to help stall. The blockers are help to meant stall. The Overflowing Affection is to help you pick up your pieces, and then you just get your combo guys, Wing Zero, Hero, and start going at your opponent, destroying their units and checking their card. All right, well, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys would change if you have any changes. I know this is not a standard deck, but the way I make my decks is basically like in a way that adds a little flavor, right? Maybe some cards that you may not have thought about. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.